take a look at Shaolin Blues. I want folks to see how amazing this is. I got a chance to watch it at the In Memphis Film Festival, and it's absolutely great. Loved every minute of it. So this is your short film, Shaolin Blues. Let's take a look.
I said I was sorry.
You know, eventually when you throw that word around so casually, it starts not to mean anything.
What? You some kind of tough guy?
This guy's gonna see what happens when you mess with the 901 Kings.
Okay, for the record, you started this.
Why don't you show me some more of that Shaolin long fist y'all are so proud of? Then maybe I'll answer your question.
And if I don't?
I'll kill you.
Very nice, man. Very nice. Love that. So tell me about the production of Shaolin Blues, man. How long did it take you to write it and film it and produce it? And I think you produced this through the pandemic, didn't you?
Yes. You know, this idea is really special to me. I had an idea when I first got into writing for this like action movie. This was like back in 2018. And I didn't know any, and this was just kind of my first start into writing. And so I just started writing. One day I had gone to the Kung Fu school and I had shown my teacher, I was like, you know, I'd like to partner with the school and make this Kung Fu movie to kind of promote school. And maybe we could, you know, I think we could make some magic happen. I think and it's an idea I just think is very, you know, unique. I don't know of any other Kung Fu movies that have been shot in like Memphis. And
right.
I think that's like an interesting, you know, we have a pretty diverse cast. And like, I think, you know, when people tell Memphis stories, I don't think they would expect a black Kung Fu master to be living in Memphis. And like, you know, Eric, who plays Logan, our like main villain, one of the leaders of the 901 Kings, our like fictional gang.
Yeah.
You know, he's an Asian guy with a Southern accent. So, I mean, we've got like this, like, you know, it's just different. And I think when people think of Memphis, they wouldn't think of something like that.
Yeah, that's why I loved it though, because it's so Memphis. You know, it's Southern, it's gritty, it's great.
Yeah, well, thank you. I really appreciate that. So we workshopped the script a little bit, and then by January, I think we finalized it. We started casting, and most of the people in that film are people from the Kung Fu school. So a lot of them hadn't acted before. They were just, hey, yeah, there's some behind-the-scenes stuff.
There you go.
So yeah, you can see there's my Kung Fu teacher right there, and yeah, a lot of them had not acted before this, but they'd done martial arts. So it's interesting when you have, or like opposite end of that, Shai Smith, who plays Mika in the film, another one of the leads. She's a phenomenal actress, but had never done martial arts before.
Yeah, and she did great.
She was awesome. I mean,
she was awesome.
Sifu, he wanted her to be a student now. He was like, man, she's got a lot of potential. I think she should come to the school and just do this all the time. But yeah, so it was nice though, because we had the Kung Fu school, so we would have class at night, and then we do rehearsals in the school.
Nice.
After the fact. So that was all like January, February. We were planning. We got our locations worked out. We filmed at the Memphis Botanic Garden, which was awesome. We got really lucky. We filmed in March, and it was like a beautiful, sunny spring day.
Yeah. And
then we filmed all the interior stuff at the Bartlett Performing Arts Center, which I work there.
Okay.
So I run lights for the concerts and plays, and so I was able to set up the stage in a way that I liked. All that's on the theater. On the stage.
Nice. Yeah.
And we just closed off all the curtains, put some haze in there, and lit it. And that's where we did it. Yeah, we built that breakaway table too, right there. We built that in the
nice
teacher's backyard, and part in the backyard and part in the Kung Fu school. So yeah, it was just January, February. We were just, you know, rehearsing the choreography, doing acting rehearsals. We spent a lot of time on it, which I think helped be as good as it turned out. I think because, and I think I got my teacher. He's kind of, I think he got the bug now. You know, he comes to me with all these film ideas now and stuff, and he's like, oh man, you know, what if we did a movie like this, or you know, he's talking to me about a comedy or something.
Oh Lord.
So in total, it took, you know, like pre-production and filming like 3 months, and then we edited. I think, you know, we finished the edit around May, or between May and June. Yeah. And that was cool because my friend Justin Toland, who's a shout out Dirty Streets, I have my shirt on. He's
there you go.
Lead singer and guitar player of the band Dirty Streets. He wrote and recorded the original Shaolin Blues score. Another friend of mine, Kevin Houston, he did the sound design and like Foley for the film. Yeah. And I think those two things were just as much as like a part of the character. Like they were characters of themselves in the film and helped create that feel. Because I just think that there's something like I'm heavily influenced by like westerns and old kung fu movies, and then like I wanted that feel in like modern day bluesy, gritty Memphis, and like I think it just created kind of this thing that just it just sort of made sense. I don't know.
Yeah, your film is basically a peanut butter jelly sandwich. It just tastes good. They shouldn't be together, but when you put them together, it's something magical. You know? Yeah. Kind of give me an idea of how to best choreograph some kung fu in a short film. I mean, is there any type of tips or tricks you can share with us on how to do better fight choreography?
I've met a lot of good martial artists in real life application. What they do doesn't always read well on camera. Yeah. And so the biggest thing I think about fight choreography is almost not so much the person who's doing the hitting, but the person who's getting hit. So it is acting. It's like your reactions are what sell what happens. And so sometimes we have guys that might be really good with some techniques, but they don't have that acting experience. So they might not know how to sell, like, you know, they get hit they got hit and it's really dramatic. And so I think the biggest things I've learned, you know, camera angles are obviously really important, but just that reaction of when you get hit and the timing of that is really what will sell good fight choreography. Yeah, I think in my short film, in The Prayer, we got this we had a little fight in the climax of the movie, and like you said, the camera angles are really important as well, because I know I want to sell a punch, and I had to get that camera angle kind of off the shoulder, kind of low and off the shoulder, so that, you know, it didn't look like the guy's just getting hit in the face, but it looks like, man, he's getting walloped, right? Yeah, like really hit in the face. No, it looked really good. I saw the film at Indie Memphis. I thought it looked good. Oh, thanks, man. That was my first time doing any kind of fight choreography. It was like, okay, you guys don't hurt each other, but I need you to make it look pretty good. Okay. Yeah, the reactions are good, and then you're talking about that angle you had on it. You know, the best thing it's just funny because it's like fight choreography is different than like real fighting. So like in real fighting, you know, you don't want to telegraph and you want to be pretty direct, like let's say with a punch, like you were just talking about, for example. But in, you know, film, you almost want to telegraph a little bit so your partner knows, okay, this is about to happen. Right. And obviously the more you rehearse with somebody, you get kind of the feeling. It's almost like a dance, like a rhythm you know, you get into. But like, it's just not practical. So like in real fight, you know, you'd be pretty direct and not trying to telegraph. But like for that angle you were talking about, where the camera's behind over the shoulder and someone's in front of me and I'm supposed to be acting like I'm hitting them, instead of coming straight to them, I would almost go wide. Yeah, real wide, big arc. Yeah, so you make sure that you cross like one side of the face to the other side of the face, so it looks like it makes that contact. Because if you come I'm trying to look at the camera too short, it might not look like it connects, versus if you go all the way through. Yeah. Or if you start too far and just pop out the other side, it might look like you missed or something. So really kind of doing those wide movements, even though it might not be practical or what you would do in a real fight, it looks good on the camera, you know, and that's the most important part. So those are things that I would recommend for anybody who's kind of like, you know, wanting to put some fight scenes in their, you know, in their short films. And what was safety like on set? Did you have any parameters set for safety? Was there a dedicated person that was over safety, or how did you kind of choreograph around not hurting each other but making them look good on camera? Well, so my kung fu teacher was there the whole time. Okay. He didn't have an action scene in this one other than, I guess, like the training flashback that we had at Santa Garden. So he was there the entire filming process off camera, kind of watching and making sure everything looked good. But again, you know, I hang out with a bunch of crazy dudes, and like I just and a lot of them are martial artists, and they'll be like, "Oh, dude, if you hit me, it's fine," which is like not how you should do it at all. And when I'm in charge, because I feel the same way. If I was on like your set, for example, and you were like, "Hey, we need to get this punch," I'd be like, "Okay, well, if I get hit, it's like whatever," because like it's like just me, you know.
Right.
But if you're in charge, you know, you're like, no, I don't want anybody to get hurt. Like,
no liabilities, please, no liabilities.
Yeah, and so you know, we just, you know, I had a lot of I had like a crash pad, you know, so for some of the stuff that will fall if you don't see it on camera, they you know, we would have them fall into that or something. Or I had a few like little soft pads we could put like maybe under a shirt or in a key location that somebody was going to get hit.
That's good.
So, to like soften the blow if we needed to make the contact, to sell the shot. There's a moment at the end of the film where I fall on the ground, but it was a wide shot, so we couldn't put anything on the ground. I just have fall on this wood floor. And I need to practice my falls, really, is what it is. So I can fall a little bit. There's ways you can fall to kind of disperse the blow so it doesn't, you don't get hurt as bad. But I was so tired, I just kept landing on my tailbone, and it was awful. But I tried to stuff some little pads in my pants so that it wouldn't you know, hurt as bad. But yeah, so just, you know, having those strategic cushioning for certain falls or hits, we would try to do things like that. And again, the rehearsal, I think, was the biggest thing when you're talking about safety. When you've been for a month rehearsing with these guys and doing it at, you know, you want to start at like maybe 20% speed, and then work your way up to like 50, half speed, going through the choreography until you feel comfortable enough. You work your way up to that 100% speed, but just taking your time with it. And then it's good to have those rehearsals too, because then when you show up on set, you know, no one's waiting on you. Because like we were talking about before, there's always going to be problems on set with the technical stuff. And as an actor or a stunt person, you don't want to add to that list of problems. You want to show up prepared, and you don't want to be a problem because they're already going to have problems. So those rehearsals, I think, in Shaolin Blues, that we had that time and we had this when we had that location. I haven't been able to do that on every project, but I think that made a big difference on safety and then how good some of the shots turned out. But because we could do it over and over again, we were able to get multiple takes. Because we'd usually get it in 1 or 2 takes. And there were a few that we had to do over and over again, but most of the fight choreography we got in, you know, 2 takes.
That's
and
good.
We move on to a different angle and get a couple takes of that, you know.
So
just preparedness. And then at the same time, you know, if you're on set, I guess if we're giving advice, if you ever feel uncomfortable with something, just say something. And I would try to say that to all my actors. Like, I don't want anyone to be doing anything like that they don't feel comfortable doing.
Right.
Because if they feel uncomfortable, then that's when an accident might happen.
True.
They might not commit, or they'll be hesitant, or it might be unclear. Like an example of this is when we shot my Western film, No Angels in the Shape of Men, back in 2019. I had a fight scene with my good friend Derek Ha. But we were doing some of the fight. We had a little fight, like a scuffle choreographed. But we didn't decide when we said action how long we were going to go. When we were going to stop. And I think when you're filming, you know, you really want to be clear. Start here, end here.
Right.
So everybody knows, and you're not just kind of like, oh, well, let's just keep going. And it's not, again, it's subject to change. Because I mean, if you're with someone who's really good and you have that practice, maybe you can kind of just keep going and see what happens if you've got a good flow. But like, he was unclear of when we were stopping the take, and I was unclear. And so we kind of kept going. And because of that, there was an elbow thrown that I threw.
Ooh, wow.
It caught his lip and busted his lip. You know, I felt awful about that. But it wasn't too bad. He just was like, hey, do I have all my teeth? And I was like, it's like, all right, then I'm fine. And we finished the fight scene. And, you know, his busted lip looked really cool on camera. But, you know, we've done a couple fight things since. And I think any opportunity he gets, he tries to give me a lick to get some payback for that. But those are the things you learn, like, oh, okay, I should never have anyone not know how far we're going to go.
Right.
Because then when you get confused, you know, he might think we're stopping and I might think we're going, or vice versa, and somebody can get hit. So it's just communication, rehearsal, and just, you know, all that is just so so important.
Well, Ryan, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and be on the show today. For everyone watching, if you want to connect with Ryan, check him out on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram is on Ryan Thomas McCrory. And then, of course, Facebook, he is Ryan McCrory. And, of course, if you want to check out his film, Shaolin Blues, and other productions that he's worked on, follow him on YouTube as well. That is Blue Line Pictures on YouTube.
Hey, Rod, thank you so much for having me on. I had a great time. And I was when you reached out to me about it, I was super excited because I've seen you've done a lot of these before. And so it was really, really cool. So thank you so much for having me on.
Yes, sir. Of course. And, when I see you in the streets, I want to challenge you like Street Fighter. Say, hey, are you Ryan? Come here. I got something for you.
All right. I won't hold back. So just get ready.
So get ready for me to run because I ain't challenging you. You ain't got to worry about that. You can you can follow me, Rod Kirby. You can go to my website, rodkirby.com, for more filmmaking content. Thank you all for watching and have a great day. Peace out.
See you guys.